RACE21 is Tech's digital transformation program, and it is comprised of a whole bunch of work that has to happen simultaneously. The acronym RACE stands for the four key streams of areas that we're focusing on with this program. The first letter, R, stands for renew. And it's a recognition that when you're going through a digital transformation, your base systems have got to be at a sufficient level to support the things that you want to do digitally. Now, we have a fairly strong foundation to start with here at Tech, but the reality is that we need to make some reinvestment in sensors and systems and network connectivity, all the things that are going to generate the information and data that we're going to want to analyze and ultimately allow us to control the aspects going forward. So Renew is a critical enabling aspect of RACE21. The second letter, A, stands for automate. And automate really means that we want to aggressively pursue a future state that's much more highly automated than today. Now, when we talk about automation, we're not just talking about autonomous haulage, which many people in our company know that we are running autonomous trucks at Highland Valley Copper. When we think about automate in the context of RACE, it's far more broad than that. We're thinking about how we can automate in other parts of the mining cycle, how we can automate dozers or shovels or other aspects. But it also expands well outside of mining. We're looking at how we can automate further in our processing plants. We're looking at how we can automate upstream and downstream in our supply chain. Simply put, when we think about automate, we're thinking broadly across a mining supply chain and asking ourselves the question, where can we leverage these new technologies to drive productivity, profitability, cost reduction, and critically to improve health and safety with our people? The third letter is connect. And connect is often the one that's more complicated for people to understand. In essence, many people know that in any modern day company, and a mining company is no different, Tech is no different, there's an enormous amount of data that is generated by our equipment and by all the sensors that we have distributed in our operations. Unfortunately, a lot of that data today gets streamed into databases and then is largely inaccessible to people to be able to use to make better decisions. And unfortunately, we also have many of these systems, these legacy systems that don't talk well to each other. And if you're an average employee and want to develop insights yourself, it's very difficult to try and get this information out. Connect is the solution to that. It's about bringing all these separate systems together, creating one central place that all of our employees or our data scientists or advanced analytics teams can go to get access to the data they need and make sure that it's easy and structured in a way that they can use it. And a big fundamental difference between how we store data today and how we are envisioning things with Connect is that data is going to be hosted primarily on the cloud. Once it's on the cloud, it makes it much easier for us to be able to access and use that data. The fourth part of RACE is E. And E is by far the most important part of RACE. Why? Because digital transformations will be successful only if you recognize the critical aspect of the people who are a part of that transformation. It recognizes that some roles are going to change over time, that we need to focus on reskilling and getting people ready for the future. It's a recognition that there is cultural aspects you need to consider when you transition to a different operating model in the future than you're using today. It's recognizing we're going to need to hire people that we as a mining company have never hired before, and we need to make sure that we can be successful in doing that, and those people feel a part of the culture that we're bringing them into. Empower is really thinking through the entire spectrum of the people and culture aspects that are going to be critical to ensure that RACE21 is successful. And then 2021, the reason the 21's there is because we believe, and certainly I believe, that if you want to achieve really great things as a company, you need two aspects. You need a bold goal and not quite enough time. And that's why the 21 is there. We have a bold goal and not quite enough time, and that's why we're going to drive to success.